Welcome. Along a sun-drenched stretch of South Ocean Boulevard in Palm Beach, Florida, where the Atlantic meets manicured lawns and towering palms, sits one of the most exclusive residential corridors in America. Locals call it Billionaires Row. Here, oceanfront and ocean-to-lake estates command tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. Privacy is paramount, property taxes routinely hit seven figures, and the neighbors include some of the richest people on the planet. I'm Cindy, your host. Let's get started. Palm Beach itself is home to dozens of billionaires, 65 or more with strong residential ties, according to recent analyses of Forbes rankings. Their combined wealth measured in the hundreds of billions. Many cluster on or near this southern stretch of the island, just south of Mar-a-Lago. The draw is clear. Florida's favorable tax climate, year-round sunshine, pristine beaches, and the rare combination of privacy and prestige. Today, we'll look at 6 of the top names, people whose fortunes were built in trading, industry, hedge funds, private equity, mortgages, and mining, and the remarkable homes they've claimed on or near this legendary row. Their stories reveal how modern American and global wealth is made, and how it is lived. First is Thomas Peterffy, currently ranked as Palm Beach's wealthiest resident, with an estimated net worth around $83 billion. Born in Budapest in 1944, Peterffy fled communist Hungary and arrived in the United States as a young immigrant speaking little English. He worked as a draftsman and computer programmer, then bought a seat on the American Stock Exchange. In the 1970s and 80s, he pioneered electronic trading systems, essentially writing software that automated pricing and order execution long before most of Wall Street went digital. That work led to Interactive Brokers, the electronic brokerage he founded and still chairs. The firm processes enormous volumes of trades in stocks, options, futures, and forex at rock-bottom costs. Peterffy's stake has made him one of the richest self-made people in finance. His Palm Beach home sits at 1255 South Ocean Boulevard, right on the stretch associated with Billionaires Row. He acquired the lakefront parcel in 2011 for about $22.7 million and built a substantial residence of roughly 12,000 square feet. The estate has grown to several acres. He later purchased adjacent mangrove land to preserve it as habitat rather than develop it. From the house, he enjoys views across the Lake Lagoon, a short distance south of Mar-a-Lago. It's a relatively understated compound by Palm Beach mega estate standards. Functional, private, and quietly impressive. Hello everyone, I'm Margaret, and I will be Cindy co-host. Next is Julia Koch and her family, with a fortune estimated near $81 billion. Julia Flesher Koch is the widow of David Koch, the industrialist and philanthropist who died in 2019. David and his brother Charles built Koch Industries into one of the largest privately held companies in the world, spanning refining, chemicals, paper products, including Georgia Pacific, agriculture, and more. Julia inherited a major stake and remains involved. The family's wealth stems from that industrial empire rather than public markets. She has been a longtime winter resident of Palm Beach. Their primary local home is El Sarmiento, a landmarked 1923 Mediterranean revival estate designed by the celebrated society architect Addison Misner, located at 150 South Ocean Boulevard in Midtown. David Koch bought it in 1998 for $10.5 million. The couple later expanded the compound by purchasing the neighboring 1920s house and undertook careful restorations that earned preservation awards. The result is a formal, historic oceanfront residence with the classic Palm Beach mix of grandeur and restraint, far more traditional than many of the newer mega compounds farther south. Third is Kenneth C. Griffin, founder of the hedge fund and securities firm Citadel, with a net worth recently pegged near $50 billion. Griffin started trading from his Harvard dorm room in the late 1980s, using early computer systems. He founded Citadel in 1990. It grew into one of the world's most successful multi-strategy hedge funds and a major market-making operation through Citadel Securities. His personal fortune reflects both investment performance and the firm's scale. Griffin lives primarily in Miami, but he has become the largest landowner on Palm Beach's Billionaires Row. Beginning more than a decade ago, he systematically acquired contiguous ocean-to-lake properties along South Ocean Boulevard and Blossom Way, spending hundreds of millions of dollars, often buying existing mansions only to demolish them. The assembled estate now exceeds 27 acres, the biggest residential holding on the island and larger than Mar-a-Lago's footprint. Plans approved by the town call for a very large modern residence, designed by Olsen Kundig, intended largely for his mother, along with supporting structures. The tax bill alone has topped $10 million in recent years. It is the ultimate statement of scale and long-term vision on the row. Fourth is Stephen A. Schwartzman, co-founder and CEO of Blackstone, the giant alternative asset manager, with a fortune estimated around $38 billion. Schwartzman co-founded Blackstone in 1985 with Pete Peterson. The firm pioneered large-scale private equity buyouts and later expanded into real estate, credit, and other alternatives, becoming one of the most powerful investment platforms in the world. Schwartzman's wealth tracks Blackstone's growth and his ownership stake. His Palm Beach home is the landmarked estate known as Four Winds at 1768 South Ocean Boulevard, squarely on Billionaires Row. He purchased the original 1937 Maurice Fathio-designed house in 2003 for $20.5 million. After a controversial renovation that effectively rebuilt much of the structure while preserving its character, the property is a classic ocean-to-lake compound. He later acquired the adjacent lot at 1800 South Ocean Boulevard and received approval for a substantial guest house intended for family use, along with elaborate gardens. The combined holdings generate multi-million-dollar annual tax bills and sit among the most prestigious addresses on the street. Fifth is Dan Gilbert, founder of Quicken Loans, now Rocket Companies, and majority owner of the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers, with a net worth recently estimated near $28 billion. Gilbert started a mortgage business in his 20s and built Quicken Loans into the largest retail mortgage lender in the United States through aggressive online innovation and marketing. He took the parent company public and has also invested heavily in Detroit real estate revitalization and sports. In 2020, entities linked to Gilbert acquired 2 Palm Beach properties totaling more than $43 million. The standout is the oceanfront house at 100 El Bravo Way in the estate section, a 1922 Mediterranean-style residence designed by Marion Sims Wyeth that he has worked to rehabilitate with an eye toward possible landmark status. The second is a more recent lakefront home on Everglades Island. While not on the southernmost tip of classic Billionaires Row, these are high-end estate section addresses in the same exclusive southern half of the island, close enough to the oceanfront corridor to count among the top local holdings. Rounding out the uppermost ranks is Abigail Johnson, CEO of Fidelity Investments, with a fortune in the low to mid $30 billion. She represents the third generation of the family that built the mutual fund and brokerage giant. Fidelity remains privately controlled. Her wealth derives from that ownership. She is consistently listed among Palm Beach's wealthiest residents, though specific details of her local home are kept private, typical for many on the island. Also frequently mentioned near the top is Australian mining magnate Gina Rinehart, Hancock Prospecting, whose iron ore fortune places her in the mid to high $20 billion. Family-linked entities have purchased high-profile oceanfront homes near Mar-a-Lago and on the broader South End, adding another global dimension to the neighborhood. From self-made immigrants who digitized Wall Street to industrial heiresses, hedge fund titans, private equity legends, mortgage innovators, and mining dynasties, the people of Billionaires Row embody the scale of modern wealth. Their homes, historic Meisner masterpieces, carefully restored Fadio estates, assembled multi-acre compounds, and sleek new builds reflect both the island's architectural heritage and the limitless resources of their owners. Palm Beach's Billionaires Row is more than real estate. It is a physical expression of financial power concentrated on a few miles of sand and lagoon. The next time you see those high hedges and oceanfront walls, you'll know a little more about the fortunes and the stories behind them. Thank you for listening. Real quick, If you liked what you saw today, we would really appreciate a thumbs up, a comment, and a subscription. It makes a huge difference for the channel and costs nothing. Thanks again for watching.